As a child, we all long for a hero. As a society as a whole, we search for that leader that can be our hero. But as we mature and as we grow, it dawned on us that the hero is inside every one of us. And in the world's social media, we all start at zero. And slowly we search deep within ourselves to find who we are. And we have that moment of truth where we embrace that the hero that we've been searching for has been there all along. It is living deep inside of every one of us. And we start embracing that journey and we become that hero that we search for.
Hey everybody, good morning and welcome to episode 47 of Zero to Hero. We are continuing being the best you week here, leading up to the event this weekend, the 17th to the 19th. Be sure to check out that event. Get your tickets if you haven't got it. ComeChangeYourLife.com. Go check it out. Today we are joined by another speaker from Come Change Your Life, Be the Best You, joined by Isabel Luz Camacho-Black. She's also the owner of Gigi's Natural Hippi Essentials. So let's go ahead and bring her in. Izzy, how are you?
Hey, what's up? I'm doing great. Thank you, Gino, for having me.
Absolutely, my pleasure. So before we get into this, tell us a little bit about Gigi's Natural Hippie Essentials.
Absolutely. So, Gigi's Natural Hippie Essentials is a business that I was inspired to start in 2021 after coming out of cancer. So, I had breast cancer, double mastectomy, and had complications. Then had so I had 3 surgeries in 3 months with complications. My mom is Gigi, short for great grandma. Her name is Ruby, but she's been making salves for over 10 years, going on 12 years now, actually. And she kept telling me, use the salve, use the salve. Well, I was hard headed like always. And I hit a rock wall with the meds I was getting from the doctors. So finally used my mom's salve, and I say it saved my life. So I was inspired after feeling better. That was end of 2020, coming into 2021. And I was, God told me, okay, you see what my product can do, what my plants, because he says this is his product, not mine, first and foremost, plant-based, all natural. And he said, go give it to the world, go share it with the world. And we make sure it's a topical. A salve is just herbs mixed, infused together in the form of a balm, is the closest thing I can say. And we have blessed a lot of people since we have started the business with pains and many other things. So we have 3 salves. One's a healing salve, one's a muscle tension salve, and the other one is a lip balm, and it also helps soothe skin.
Good stuff. Yeah, that's the alternative stuff. I feel like is always kind of brushed under the rug when you go to the doctor, right? So keep an eye out for that stuff. If it's not working, right, they're not telling you.
Yeah,
Right,
I have tons of stories about my experience with the doctors and how I chose to transition to natural care for my cancer and everything. And they don't just, you put it very mildly, but they're rude and they shut the door on me. And I'm hearing a lot of other stories that they did the same to them. They don't want to hear it. They don't.
Yeah.
But it's my truth. It's blessing a lot of other people. I'm not here to tell, nothing in my life is a right or a wrong. It's just what is. I'm here to help give people options for natural healing in many different ways of their being.
That's it. That's it, right? And that they kind of have their playbook that they go out of. If it's not in the playbook, it's not happening, right? So if the playbook's not working for you, go check out something like Gigi's Natural Hippie Essentials
Exactly.
for sure. Check that out. So before we get into, or I guess getting into the brunt of the show, who is Izzy, right? So give us a couple of sentences, not Gigi's, not Be the Best of You. And I know those are kind of related, right? Activate your power, everything like
Right.
that. But who is Izzy?
That's actually a really good question because I didn't become Izzy until, gosh, what, 7, 8 years ago. And it's funny how it started. My daughter, who's my youngest, I have 3 children. They'll all have birthdays soon, but they're all right now, they're 26, 23, and 21. And my youngest through high school because she played sports and stuff. So, when they always say, Mom, everybody turns around. And she started calling me Izzy. And because I'm always going and stuff, people have fun with it. Busy Izzy. And I mean, they will do all kinds of fun stuff with it. When I went into insurance as an insurance agent, the name followed me. So, because it was with a close family friend that I did insurance with. But what I didn't know was coming was that when I was led to start Gigi's Natural Hippie Essentials, I was having an awakening. And that's where Izzy, the intentional healer, came from. So everybody, literally, since my daughter started calling me Izzy, that's basically what I've morphed into since then. But I've had other nicknames when I was younger. It was never Izzy, though. It's so funny.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's so we were kind of talking before the show too about kind of activating yourself, right? And you mentioned in there the intention,
Right.
right? And I feel like that's a big part of it is kind of living intentional, right? We were kind of talking about seeing what's in front of you, right? And it's really kind of that intention that comes with being
Right.
able to see that, right? When we just kind of go through life,
Right.
willy-nilly, right? We don't always see those things, but when we are living with that intention, it becomes a whole lot
Exactly.
easier, doesn't it?
So in 2000, absolutely, so much easier. And I wish I'm here to let people know that. That's why I get on stage every month, because people need to know it is literally that easy. When you sit down and think about change always sounds hard, no matter what it is. So don't think about it, just do it. Take that first step. And again, like we said, what's always been waiting for you will reveal itself, only because you've changed something within yourself. But in 2017, is when I say I started my intentionality journey. That's when I devoted myself to do life on purpose, with purpose. And that was before my cancer. So unintentionally, through
Mm,
everything I went through and then through my cancer, that's where my on purpose, with purpose turned into it. I needed to do better than that. It needed to morph into on purpose for divine purpose.
mm,
And divine purpose was finally making my why in life, what was driving me every day, bigger than me, my circumstances, my pain, my past, my traumas. I had to make it bigger than that. And I had to make it about something bigger. And now with what I do, it's about humanity. Anybody who wants it, I'm here to give options, right? To give share my story of what I've been through and how maybe others can resonate and be activated within to know they're not counted out. They're not lost in life. They just maybe haven't been appreciated but first and foremost, we have to learn how to appreciate self. So that intentionality, on purpose, with purpose. When you have a big why like that, it's hard to give up when you're having a rainy day, because you start having to put things back in perspective of why am I doing this anyway? Oh, God called me to do it. It's something way bigger than me.
yeah, absolutely. And if your why is not big enough, right, go out there and find a bigger why, because if it's being shifted by the things that are happening around you, right, that's not a true why, right? So
It's
find that
not, but
find
it
that
was my wife for a lot of years. I had my head down, and it took cancer. God said, that's how I'm
mm,
going to make you finally um, fight as hard for yourself as you always have for other people.
mm. That's so powerful. And it's so interesting to me, the timing that you're talking about there, right? Because you started living with intention before the diagnosis, right? How do you think that kind of prepared you to deal with that kind of thing?
Oh my gosh. Like, when we have more time, I have to tell the story. I have just quite the story. I can't wait to get my books out. Um, I knew he was preparing me for something when I started my intentional living, when I was activated. You see,
Mm,
I believe we should be activated continuously through our life.
mhm,
We're always just gaining that new awareness of, oh, if I tweak a little here, if I do something a little different here, something can change. Those shifting moments, aha moments. People call it way different things, many different things. But when I was sharing it with my brother, who falls right under me, there's 6 of us. I remember telling him, like, God's preparing me for something big. I felt like I was armored. I lost 70 pounds in
Wow.
half a year, not by being intentional, right, with what I'm putting in my body and stuff, but I had done that before. But he said, my mind and my heart weren't connected. So he said, once your mind and your heart connects, everything, the body will follow, because when we devote ourselves to him to be used as his vessel, we have to be at our best. He will make that for us. Our body will do what it needs to do to make us at our best. But I felt so empowered, and I got even a little egotistical, a little cocky about it. When I'd be talking to my brother, I'm like, I need to chill out because I feel so I feel like a superhero. I felt like, and then it was weird because then COVID came right before my diagnosis, and people even started asking me, who were really close to me and saw how my life just transitioned so quick. And they were like, do you think maybe you're going to get sick? Sometimes God does things to people before, where they get complete. So he started telling me, be complete with people, be complete with people. And he started showing me where I wasn't complete with people. And I was like, well, damn. I'm like, now that you put it that way. So I was like, well, I was all excited about it, but I'm like, you know what? Your will, your way, I'm down. Like I've been through my worst. And no, COVID, I mean, sure, I got COVID twice, but was okay and stuff, but my cancer came during COVID. So that's what I ended up getting, was my cancer diagnosis. And in the middle of COVID, where I had to go through it by myself, my husband, nobody could go with me for anything, nothing. And I had a lot of time with myself. And when the doctors did, I lived for 4 months through my diagnosis, where they wanted me to expect the worst. But luckily it wasn't. But we didn't have that answer until 4 months later. So I had the opportunity to live like I was dying, but the beauty of it was I was already living that way when I started my intentionality. So I was so grateful for what I had just said yes to, and why I kept showing up, because it wasn't always easy. But right when everyone else started telling me I was dying, I had people really close to me just crying and telling me I was going to die, and stuff. And God told me, I had this peace over me, because he was like, you're not going to die. You're actually just going to begin to live. I hadn't started the business yet. I had just lost my insurance job with COVID. And when he said that, I had no idea what that meant, but I had this great sense of peace. And all I had to do was keep doing what I was doing, my intentional living. So it took a couple years. Well, it took like 5-6 years for me to have to live it before he prepped me to get on stage and share it with people. Like I said, I'm on stage every month with probably what we can segue into next. The Activate Your Power Now. That's a movement that has been inspired organically. Again, everything has been spirit-led. After being called to start that business, Gigi's Natural Hippie Essentials, I took a speaking class to scale my business. It was my mom's creation. So I'm a business-driven person. But I needed to learn more about natural products, and everything. Because again, I was a skeptic. I wasn't a skeptic. I just felt like I never needed it for all the years. My kids used her salve growing up and everything. I just never felt like I needed it for anything. And while I was in that class, Spirit said, you're not, that business is going to do its own thing, because that's mine, right? God told me that. He said, just keep showing up and blessing people. But he said, what you're actually here to do is to tell your story. And that was like 4 weeks into our 8-week speaker class. And I was like, no, no way, no way, no way. I moved to Kansas over 20 years ago to create a new identity. Why the hell would I drag all that stuff that nobody knows, doesn't need to know? I'm respected because of who I've been since I've moved here. I've been able to do so many things. And I've kept those things a secret for a reason because I know I've been judged before for them. And again, I had to take my why, go back, right? Because I pause, breathe every day and allow spirit to tell me what the next step is and how to take it. And so I had to surrender myself to that truth that I was here to open up all those wounds for myself and for my family, because I wasn't the only one going through the stuff, and share it with other people so that they may have healing as well. So that's another way that I intentionally help people heal. We have a platform every month. We offer 2 events, and all we do, it's people just sharing their stories unapologetically. Unapologetically. You don't have to be a speaker. You just have to be led, right? If you have that nudge within that says, share this story, somebody needs to hear it. We're the platform for that. Music, poetry, spoken word. You can present it in any way, but it's just, and the movement is more about just our events. This is our second year. That actually started December of 2021. And so I just dumped so much. So I'm sorry. Let me take a breath.
No, you're good. You're good. No, I mean, and you've got so much going on, right? And it kind of leads us
So
into
much.
the next question here as well. So you've got Gigi's Natural Hippie Essentials. You have Activate Your Power now. You've got all these speaking events. Tell us about the social media journey with all of that. How has that helped? How has it, progressed the process?
Well, first and foremost, my social media journey has just absolutely been another aspect of my healing. So I take people say, it's too negative and stuff. That's why they're not, whether they're business owners or not, and that boggles my mind. But it's too negative and stuff. And I said, but we have the power to flip that energy. So that's why I remain. I don't let fear drive me. I choose to come in strength and flip that energy when I see it. So for me, it helps me heal myself. It helps me be a healer to others. I dance, I sing, I love TikTok. Um, I love TikTok. I mean, it's just hilarious how much I love TikTok. But it helps so much because people want to know, especially if you have a business or you're putting yourself out there, going on a platform and stuff to speak. They really want to know genuinely who you are, right? They connect with me in one way with a story, but then if they see that all the things that I utilize in dance and music is a big thing for me that I utilize to heal. So it's like I give them the freedom to say I could do it too. I'm in my 40s, and I don't think you're too old for singing, dancing, having fun, and just being you. So
Absolutely. Yeah, 40 is not too old for anything if you listen to Gary Vee, right? Gary Vee's one of those guys that's like, hey man, you got another 60 years, right? Just
that's
based off of
right.
average life, right? Which is fantastic. But I love what you said there about social media and it kind of being negative, right? Because I've had it both ways. So I've experienced social media, in the negative light, and then I've experienced the positive light. And what I realized in my own personal life is that's what I was looking for, right?
Exactly.
The algorithm's going to give you
Exactly.
exactly what you're looking for,
Ooh, yes.
right?
Say that
So
louder
if you're
because that's
looking
so
for that
true.
positivity, you're going to find the positivity on social media,
Right.
right? I mean, I follow you. Your pages are full of positivity. Same with Brenda, right? I'm talking with Terrence about this
Absolutely.
yesterday. that stuff is out there, and you're gonna find what you're looking for. If you're looking for that good
That
stuff,
is
you'll find it.
very true. I like how you put that. Yes.
Absolutely. Now, every superhero has a defining moment, right? I think we've called this a few things during this episode. We on Zero to Hero call it a defining moment. What is yours when it comes to your life and career?
Well, a defining moment for me in my life period, which triggered everything that came after, was being becoming a mother of two sons that suffer from well, were I hate putting it that way. I've learned that they're not suffering; they were just experiencing addiction,
Mm,
and they experienced it for 8 years. They're coming out of it. Praise God. It's been over a year and a half for one of my sons, and over 7 months for my other son. But 8 long years, right? And through that, that really was the initial activation and or another big activation in my life
mm,
because um, up to that point, I was willing to be life's punching bag. I knew I was strong enough at that point. I knew I could endure anything and handle anything. So again, like I told you earlier, I had my head down in life and I was just bulldozing through, doing better as I went along, but just making my narrative so small. Again, my algorithm was so small, right? And um, when I had to watch my kids suffer, that opened up a whole different part of my being and my heart. And initially, I made it all about me for years because how dare they? They have no idea what I came out of and fought so hard to move my life, transition my life all 16 hours away from my home, El Paso, Texas, and my big family that would have been supportive to me if I could have just changed this back then.
mm,
And and I did all this for them when I became a parent for the first time for my first son. And then they just turned to that life regardless. So I was like, first I beat myself up, then I was mad at them as the years lingered on because I'm like, I taught you better. Um, and then it wasn't until 2019, after my intentional life journey started, where God finally told me to release them. That it's not my problem. I learned how to mind my business. That was a big transition in that moment. But I learned how to mind my business even when it came to my kids, because their life is theirs to live, and my only responsibility is to love them through it. So and not put that judgment on them that was placed on me, because that's what I did for years at the beginning of their addiction. um so that was a huge thing for me, was not making things about me,
mm,
right? If someone offended me, if something offended me, I had to look within myself and see, why am I triggered?
mm,
There's something I'm either contributing to this narrative that it continues to stay in my life, or typically that was it. You know, that really is it. You make it about you, the victim. And so that was very life changing for me, but it took my children going through what they went through to get to that deep part of my heart that I already had blocked from a child.
Yeah, can you talk maybe a little bit, because that is it's so powerful, shifting that mentality, right, and that mindset away
Mhm.
from, I'm a victim of this, to I can take control of how I feel about this, what I'm doing, right, and leave that positivity behind, right, in the wake
Mhm.
of that. So how did you ultimately shift that mindset? Because I think that's a thing that a lot of people struggle with,
Yeah.
is they want to have a positive mindset, but they don't know how to get there.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what Spirit spoke to me that allowed me to release. I mean, it just made so much sense to me that I didn't have any other choice, but to grasp onto that truth, which made my hands too busy to keep holding on to the lies I was holding on to. But um, Spirit finally said, "Your children are grown. They're not your kids anymore. And take this for whatever it is in your life. For me, it was my children. Your children are grown. Again, their life is theirs to live. You had them when they were little to teach them. He's I was, I did my best. I got clarity on a couple things where I dropped the ball, not as judgment, but just for me to have the awareness to grow from. But he said, your time for teaching is over. Your time for leading is here, because they're not your children anymore. They are your brothers and sisters in Christ. Walk with them.
Mm.
And I've never seen my kids as my children since. Of course, that's always that love, that mom, within. But I have to remind myself that, Lord, he said, I have them, release them. I have people that are just waiting for them to help them in their walk. He said, but mind your damn business. I had so much I still had to clean up, that I was so focused on their addiction and how dare they, that I was ignoring all the things that I needed to be still continuously working on in my life. So I treat everybody that way now. That's why I'm a healer, intentional healer of humanity, because I do that by first and foremost, working every day on the practice of healing self. When we work on ourselves and show up in life, no matter where we're at, home, store, work, church, anywhere, when we show up practicing our best, we're letting off an energy. And don't tell me you don't believe in that energy that exudes, because walk into a room of people who are pissed off. Ain't gonna be long before you're pissed off too.
Yep.
But take that energy out with you. And it's not the energy of being healed and knowing it all. It's that energy of holding space, right? Being complete within, so that you can go out and hold space for people who can't hold that space yet for themselves, but they can feel that positive energy out there, and that will attach to them. They'll take it home, and slowly but surely it's going to start building on them, and the other parts are going to start. The lies, again, when you hold on to truth, you don't have any hands left to hold on to the lies. So let's grab truth together. That's what we do with Activate Your Power Now. We're not here to tell you what your truth is. We're here to help you ignite your own truth, grab onto it, and then allow that to steer where you're going in life. And we like to walk together with our people. So
That's so good. Yeah, I
that's
mean, it's putting on your mask before you help those around you, right? When you get on the plane and they talk about put on your mask and then help other people, right? Because if you're not breathing, how are you going to help anybody else?
absolutely.
Right? It's so
Yeah.
powerful. That's so powerful. So now every superhero has, defining attributes, right? We look at Marvel, we look at DC. What attributes to you define a hero?
I think anybody who's willing to put ultimate purpose first and foremost, something way bigger than themselves.
Intentionality. I
Mm-hmm.
love it. I love it. I love it. Now, if you had to pick a superhero that best relates to Izzy, right? Who would that be, and tell us why in a couple sentences?
I probably just say, was it a Catwoman or something?
Okay.
And I think because I'm getting on stage now, but I've never been one I like to be in the back, making shit happen, without all the notification. And I'm still working on all that, trying to be, like, not let all my attitude come with me as I'm growing, all that sass. So that's who I would pick.
They don't lose too much of it though. People like a little bit of sass here and there, especially when you're speaking real talk, right? I mean, sometimes
Right.
that's the only way people hear it, is if you're really giving it to them,
That's
right?
what I say. I'm like, you gotta
Yeah,
give
don't
it
lose
to
too
them. When
much.
I'm talking to my people, I gotta talk the way they understand me, because they ain't gonna listen
Absolutely.
if you don't.
Yeah, it's different for everybody. Some people need that kick there for sure. So, Izzy, how could people keep up with you? How can they follow you? How can they get involved with what you're doing?
Love it. So I'm on social media, Isabel Luz Camacho-Black, on Facebook, Instagram, Izzy the Healer. I feel like Just look me up on Facebook. I got YouTube. It's all by my name. And then activateyourpowernow.com. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. My TikTok, they're all on my Facebook. So if you look on my Facebook, you'll see all my handles. I don't even know my name on Facebook right now. Activateyourpowernow.com. You can get a lot of information there. You can get the links to my social media is also there. And then Gigi's Natural Hippie Essentials.com. You can reach out to me there and ask questions or schedule to meet with me so we can talk more about the product and how it can work for you.
Beautiful. And do you know, if you don't, it's okay. Do you know about how many tickets are left this weekend for becoming the best you?
I have no idea, but I'm hoping none.
From what I've heard, there's still at least virtual tickets left, right? So those are $45
okay. Yeah, there's
a
always
ticket.
virtual. So, hey, get your virtual ticket. ComeChangeYourLife.com. We have great speakers, great coaches. I'll be speaking on Friday, and I can't wait to connect and see everybody. It's going to be a blast. Will you be there?
I'll probably be watching from the couch. I'm not going to be in St. Louis, but I'll probably be hanging out on the couch. Yeah, and check it out. You don't even have to leave the comfort of your own home to become the best you this weekend, right? So go to ComeChangeYourLife.com, get your virtual ticket. You're not going to be doing anything anyways. You might as well get some positivity in your life, all right?
Yes.
All right. Izzy, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was awesome.
Thank you. Yes, it was my pleasure. And reach out to me if you have any questions about anything I spoke about. I would love to connect and hear your story.
Awesome. You guys have a good day out there. Thanks for tuning in.
All right.